Today, I'm going to give you 5 exercises that you can implement into your own saxophone playing to hopefully work your way up into the Altissimo range. Mastering the Altissimo register is one of those things that comes with time, so being consistent is incredibly important. I've used these exact exercises in my own playing for years, and they've greatly increased my consistency. By the end of this video, you'll have 5 exercises that you can add to your own practice routine and hopefully start getting some results. Altissimo is all about tongue position, so for the first exercise, we're going to start on the mouthpiece. First, I'm going to find concert A. We're just going to do Remington descending, starting on concert A. However, instead of slotting each pitch, I want you to slowly pitch bend down to the next pitch and then up back to concert A. It's going to sound something like this. Here's what not to do. The importance of this exercise is to start building tongue awareness, as you want to bend the pitch with the back of the tongue and not with the jaw. I will say you shouldn't perform this exercise any more than 5 minutes per day so you can avoid any soft palate injuries or any hearing related injuries. The next exercise is very similar to the previous one, however now we're going to be using the full saxophone. Like I said, this exercise is very similar to what you'll be doing on the mouthpiece. We call this the F trick, as you will be starting on front F and working your way down chromatically. I like to use the real fingerings first, so F, down to E, back to F, just so I have a good pitch reference, and then I just finger F and use the back of the tongue to bend the pitch down and then back up. Ideally, you can get all the way down to A. However, if you can show even a little bit of flexibility on the front F, that's a good sign. Yet again, this improves the precision of the tongue, however, with a little bit more resistance. The next exercise is going to be working through the overtone series, and for this example, I'll be starting on low B flat. This exercise is not easy, and it will definitely take some time to get consistent. However, it's really going to work on slotting with the back of the tongue. Overtones are a way of playing multiple pitches while only using one fingering, such as B flat. For this exercise, I'm playing middle B flat down to low B flat with the actual fingerings as a reference pitch, and then I'm keeping my fingers on low B flat. However, I'm voicing up to the first mode, middle B flat. So for reference, the overtone series on B flat starts on low B flat, then the first mode is B flat with no octave key, then to F with the octave key, then to B flat with the octave key, up to palm D, and then finally up to octave F. You can even go higher than that, but for this exercise, F is just fine. If you're having a hard time with overtones, here's a trick you can use. Start and finger a low B flat. And then while you're playing that low B flat, flick the middle C finger. And that should get you to the first mode, middle B flat. The fourth exercise finally involves some Altissimo fingerings. However, we're going to approach it a little bit differently. I know a lot of you will start to see Altissimo in pieces such as Creston Sonata and Muchinsky, and those pieces ask you to play notes such as G, G sharp, and A. Those notes can be very resistant and super finicky when it comes to tongue position, so instead of working our way up through G, G sharp, and A, we're actually going to work from the top down. We're actually going to start all the way up on Altissimo D, and what I like about this is that the fingering is super simple. All you're going to put down is this front key or X key along with the octave key. Something I want you to think about is actually using less air as we enter up into the Altissimo register. Again, think about the position of the back of the tongue, get your embouchure set, and honestly just try and squeak something out. If you're getting something like this, we call that an undertone and could be the product of either not enough jaw pressure or not a high enough back of the tongue. After you've hooked up a tuner and can consistently get that D, find a fingering chart and start working your way down. I've heard so many people unlock Altissimo this way, so it's definitely worth a try. Number 5 isn't necessarily an exercise, but more of a tip in order to help you unlock the Altissimo register. Sometimes, depending on the model of saxophone, the fingerings can be more or less responsive. So my suggestion to you is to find a fingering chart. I personally prefer the fingering chart in the back of the Chops book by Dan Grazer. And if one fingering isn't working, try another. For example, here's front G, and then crunch G, and then an entirely different G fingering that I've never even played before. They all three feel very different to play and have varying levels of resistances, so this could be the answer to unlocking the Altissimo register. Again, the Altissimo register is something that comes with time and a lot of consistent work on many of the exercises that we discussed today. If you have questions about anything we talked about today, please leave them down below and I will answer those as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.